Hello everyone, welcome to today's story. In this episode, we step into a world where love, family, and hidden truths intertwine. Alex has finally found Tuna after days of searching. Yet, will she accept his offer to return to the farm, or choose a different path for her and her child? His sister, once harsh, now comes forward with an apology. Will it be enough to heal the wound? And what about the secret Tuna carries in silence, the untold truth of her child? If Alex discovers it, will he stay by her side or turn away forever? This is not a story of loud battles, but of quiet decisions, fragile bonds, and the weight of unspoken feelings. Each glance, each silence carries the power to change their fate. Stay with us until the end to uncover how Tuna makes her choice, and whether Alex can truly embrace both her and the secret she holds. Don't forget to subscribe and support us on our journey to 10,000 followers. Your presence keeps these stories alive. The evening light slanted through the wooden shutters, carrying the scent of a long journey home. Alex's mother had just returned from the countryside, her voice soft yet weary as she described the warmth of familiar faces and the laughter of distant relatives. She carried the tenderness of home, but her eyes, seasoned with maternal intuition, paused on her son. His face seemed more shadowed than before, hair grown long, exhaustion pooling in his expression like dusk settling over the fields. "Go and rest, cut your hair, take care of yourself," she urged gently, as though a simple trim could lighten the burdens pressing on him. Alex smiled faintly, but beneath that fragile smile lay a silence too heavy to name. His thoughts were elsewhere, on a woman who had left the farm without farewell, on Tuna, who had taken her child and vanished into a quiet refuge beyond his reach. The house filled with the clinking of bowls, the chatter of preparation for dinner, yet within him, a different silence reigned. The table was being set, his sister bustling around, but every gesture reminded him of an absence. The chair across from him was not empty in his imagination. It carried the shape of Tuna, the weight of questions unspoken, and the uncertainty of her decision. The family reunion unfolded like a soft painting of ordinary life, but Alex's heart was not at rest. Between the warmth of his mother's return and the comfort of a shared meal, he felt the thin edge of longing. The night was beginning, yet within him stretched a horizon of waiting for an answer that could change everything. The barber shop smelled faintly of talcum powder and old wood. Alex sat before the mirror, the buzz of clippers humming low, almost like a whisper of thoughts he could not silence. Strands of hair fell to the ground, yet what weighed on him could not be trimmed away so easily. His reflection stared back with hollow eyes, tired lines tracing the map of sleepless nights. In the silence between each snip he thought of Tuna, how her absence had stretched the days into something unbearably long, each hour hollowed by not knowing where she had gone. He told himself he had found her again, but what he truly sought was not just her presence. It was her decision. Would she come back to the farm? Would she allow him into the fragile circle of her life once more? The barber spoke little, and Alex was grateful. The mirror seemed to ask the questions no one dared to voice. What if she refused? What if the distance she carried was not only in miles but in her heart? His chest tightened, not with anger but with a fear so quiet it could only be heard in solitude. As he stood to leave, handing the man his payment, he felt the evening air press against his face. freshly cut hair, a tidier figure, yet still the same storm within. The road home lay ahead, but the truer path stretched toward Tuna, a journey not of distance but of patience, waiting for her answer. The dinner table glowed under the soft lamplight, dishes steaming with familiar comfort. His mother moved gently between bowls and chopsticks, the aroma of fresh eggs filling the room. Laughter flickered here and there, yet beneath it lingered a tension no seasoning could mask. Alex sat quietly, his gaze lowered, as his sister's voice broke the rhythm. "I may have been too harsh with Tuna," she admitted, words trembling with regret. The sound fell heavy, like a stone cast into still water. His mother's brows furrowed, her worry spilling into the silence. For her, Tuna's absence was a wound to the family's closeness, a fracture she could neither mend nor ignore. Alex lifted his eyes slowly, steady but weighed with exhaustion. "It's not your fault," he murmured, though he carried the truth unspoken. Tuna had left, and he did not know if she would return. "I found her," he added softly, and for a moment both mother and sister leaned closer, as though the word found might restore what had been broken. Yet, even as he reassured them, his chest carried a quiet ache. He had seen Tuna, seen the child in her arms, both alive and well. Relief had brushed against him like a fleeting breeze. But the deeper truth lingered. She had not yet chosen. Would she come back? Or had she already chosen her own path away from him? The meal continued with polite chatter, but to Alex, every bite was shadowed by absence. Family surrounded him, yet one presence remained missing, and without her, the table still felt incomplete. The road was rough, edged with bamboo groves swaying against the afternoon wind. Alex's sister walked with quiet determination, clutching the address he had given her. When she finally arrived at the small house where Tuna stayed, the air thickened with the weight of unspoken words. Tuna greeted her hesitantly, her voice polite but cautious, as though every syllable might reopen an old wound. The baby slept nearby, its gentle breathing a fragile anchor in the room. The sister sat down, hands folded tightly, and for a moment neither spoke. Only the sound of a kettle humming filled the silence. "I came to apologize," the sister began, her tone trembling like a branch bending under wind. "That day I was harsh, I hurt you, and I've carried that guilt since." Her eyes lowered, unable to meet Tuna's directly. Then, like a tide breaking, she spoke of Alex, how he had searched in the rain, how fever had overtaken him, how even in restless dreams he had called Tuna's name. The confession struck Tuna like an unexpected chord. Her heart ached, not only from the memory of leaving, but from realizing the depth of his worry. She pressed her palms together, struggling to steady her breath. "I didn't leave because of you," she whispered, voice fragile as falling ash. "There are things I cannot explain yet. But I will think, I will decide soon." The sister nodded, relief softening her eyes. For now, no demand was made. Only a fragile bridge of understanding stretched between them, trembling yet real. Night folded softly around the house, and Tuna sat alone by the window. The baby slept soundly in the next room, its breath a gentle rhythm against the hush of crickets. Yet her own heart was restless, tangled like branches against the wind. The sister's words still echoed in her ears. Alex searching. Alex fevered, Alex whispering her name even in dreams. It was a truth she had not dared to imagine. But beneath the ache of guilt and gratitude, another truth pressed heavier still, the secret of her child. A truth she had never spoken aloud. What if Alex discovered it? Would the tenderness in his eyes fade into distance? Would he turn away, leaving her once again adrift, carrying shame and solitude? Her fingers traced the edge of the wooden sill, as though carving her doubts into the grain. Gratitude urged her to return, for Alex had given more than help. He had given her and her baby shelter in a world that often turned cold. Yet fear whispered otherwise, that she was unworthy, that his kindness could never bloom into something deeper if he knew all of her story. The night deepened, shadows moving like slow tides across the room. Tuna closed her eyes, whispering to herself, "I owe him, yet I cannot trap him in my truth." Between love unspoken and gratitude too heavy, she felt suspended in a fragile balance. Perhaps she would return to the farm. Perhaps she would choose peace over pride. But whether Alex would remain, when the secret finally surfaced, was a question that even the silence dared not answer. The morning sun stretched long across the bamboo hills, painting them in shades of gold and green. Alex guided the visiting partners through the fields, his voice measured and calm, though his mind wandered elsewhere. He spoke of years of cultivation, of careful pruning, of strength rooted in patience. Each stalk of bamboo stood tall like a silent witness to both his labor and his longing. The men examined the grove, tapping the trunks, nodding with practiced calculation. Negotiations unfolded with cautious words, numbers exchanged like fragile promises. When they finally agreed on a higher price, Alex felt the weight of responsibility ease, if only for a moment. The farm would thrive, the workers would be paid better, the future a little less uncertain. Yet as handshakes sealed the deal, a different contract stirred within him, the unspoken one with Tuna. Business demanded clarity, deadlines, signatures. But love, or whatever this quiet ache had become, asked only for patience, and patience was far heavier than profit margins. Standing at the crest of the hill, the wind moving through the leaves like whispers, Alex let his gaze wander toward the horizon. Every success seemed hollow without her presence. Even now, he imagined her standing among the bamboo, the child in her arms, sunlight softening her face. The partners departed with polite smiles, but Alex lingered, pressing his hand against a bamboo trunk as if it could steady him. Prosperity might be within reach, but the truer measure of his days lay not in these hills, but in the answer Tuna still held close to her heart. The afternoon waned into a hush of amber light when Alex arrived at the modest house. Tuna stood at the threshold, the child resting quietly in her arms. For a long moment they only looked at each other, the silence fuller than any words could hold. His voice finally broke the stillness, soft yet certain. "Have you decided?" Tuna lowered her gaze, fingers brushing gently across the baby's blanket. She had thought endlessly of this moment, of the weight it carried. "Yes," she whispered, though her tone trembled with more than one truth. "I will return to the farm." Relief shimmered in Alex's eyes, but her heart quivered with the secret she still kept, the unspoken truth of the child's beginning. Ba Tang's gentle encouragement and the warmth of gratitude guided Tuna's choice. The farm was not merely work, it was survival, it was dignity, And perhaps, quietly, it was a chance at belonging. Alex reached out, taking the bundle of belongings from her hands, his touch firm but tender, as though promising a steadiness she had long been denied. They stepped into the fading light together, his arm steadying her, his other hand cradling the baby as if it were his own. The car waited at the end of the path, carrying them back to the farm, back to an unfinished story. Inside her chest, Tuna felt both peace and unease. She had chosen to return, but the question lingered like a shadow at dusk. When the truth of her child finally surfaced, would Alex remain by her side, or would this fragile harmony dissolve into silence once more? And so, the story closes on a fragile new beginning. Tuna has chosen to return to the farm, yet within her heart lies an untold truth, one that may one day test the very bond she shares with Alex. Will his devotion withstand the weight of that secret, or will silence tear them apart once more? Life often turns not on storms or battles, but on the quiet choices we make in moments of hesitation. And in those choices, destinies are rewritten. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe and help us reach 10,000 followers. Stay with us, because every ending is only the start of another question waiting to unfold.